And the Spirit Flyer series is basically Chronicles of Narnia for rural Americana. In 1992, my grandmother bought me a book, and I'm pretty sure she bought it on a whim because it's actually the second book in a series, and she didn't buy me the first book. The book my grandmother bought me was The Toy Campaign by John Bibee. And I know it was 1992 because back then I was in the habit of writing my name and the year in all of my books. Now in 1992 my family was living in Nebraska, and when I say Nebraska I mean isolated. So a story about a boy living in small town America was very appealing to me. Not only was he living in the same situation as I was, but he had the same desires: candy, lots of toys, and a bicycle. But since he lived in a fantasy story, he had something I could only wish to have: a flying bicycle. You see, the series of books that the Toy Campaign comes from is called the Spirit Flyer series. And the Spirit Flyer series is basically Chronicles of Narnia for rural Americana. This book did for me what I would imagine The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe did for kids growing up in post-World War II Britain. It took common things and infused them with magic. Instead of a magic wardrobe, there's flying bicycles. Instead of Turkish delight, there's really cool toys. There is a tinge of Christian fundamentalism in these books, but I don't think I noticed it when I was reading them originally. And even that fundamentalism is subverted by the way evil is depicted. Christian fundamentalism tended to sort of round all the edges off of evil, and I think this was really done as a way to try to keep it from being glorified, which is good. But reality is a little more complex, and this book seems to understand that. This story has a tinge of that mid-90s Stephen King horror. The evil in the story is both allegorical and very real. An evil corporation that continually comes up in these stories is called Goliath Industries. Not subtle, but the minions of this corporation are truly creepy, and their actions truly terrifying. Characters ensnared by Goliath Industries have their souls chained together in one long slave line, and they're forced to eat ashes. Giant cobras with X's on their throats rise up out of the clouds to terrorize the hero. It was scary stuff for a little Christian fundamentalist kid, but like real evil, Goliath Industries isn't just elusive and scary, it's also alluring. Again and again in the stories, the heroes are drawn to Goliath Industries. After all, Goliath Industries makes the coolest toys and the coolest bicycles. But even in the midst of darkness, there is light. The three kings give gifts that come with no chains. And the best of those gifts is the Spirit Flyers. The Toy Campaign will always have a hold on my imagination, and it's really a genuine shame that more people don't know about the series, although it'd probably be good to start with the first book.